following stream contains mature language and themes. Subjects that may be disturbing to some individuals will arise. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, I think I got it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch channel and the Wyrd West
chapter 6. Sorry for the technical difficulties. No excuse. Tonight, we are going to pick up where we left off last week. The giant spherical objects fell from the sky, impacting in 4 different places, one of them being the cornfield where Marshall Wells and Caleb were at, conveniently crushing the soldiers who were preparing to arrest them, but inconveniently catching the cornfield on fire. You know, I just got the cameras fixed. Guess my storytelling's so bad, people are running out on me.
I was about to say, I just heard a doo-doo, and now
That's pretty much what you guys think of me. I know, doo-doo. It's fine. I got it.
We lost an amethyst, and it looks like Caleb's trying to take Minnie's camera spot.
Well, I'm just going to keep talking, and we'll see if she comes back in before I try messing with the cameras again, because conveniently, however, they were able to make it out of the flames, or not conveniently, I guess. Well, it was convenient for you. Kind of ruined my, burning to death of your characters, but hey, it's all right. As they exited from the cornfield, they came across Silk, who had ridden her very quick and hasty steed to the scene, leaving Lady Amethyst and Minnie to try and catch up with them. And yeah, I'm gonna try this and see if it works. Nope, it does that bad thing and just totally messed up every camera. You ever just have one of those days?
I literally heard you say, "All right, I think I got it," and then I have a power strip that has like an emergency like on off button, and I accidentally hit it with one foot, and my computer turned off, and I was like, "Oh, Tam's gonna be bad." So
Yes,
me.
I am filled with scorn and anger. So,
Yep. My bad.
look, one company I worked at, the IT manager went into the computer room and did the same thing to a multi-$1,000, we're talking 15, 20 grand worth of microcomputer, and powered it off.
Okay.
Took us a week to get it back up. So I'm glad you're back on sooner. So,
Thank you.
Yes, David, if you're listening, I just told him about you. Anyway.
David, you legend. You live on in our hearts.
Anyway. Did I get everybody in the right places? No, I still have Marshall Wells as the storyteller. There, I think now I got us in the right place. This is just going to be, this just tells you how good a night this is going to be. So Silk had been talking to Caleb and the Marshal. They had described a little bit about what happened to him. And about this time, I'll give credit for Minnie and Lady Amethyst coming on the scene as well. I would say that the skins of your horses are still smoking a little bit from the sweat and steam of trying to get out of there. Probably got a little bit of charred stuff on yourselves. But you are out.
Are you hurt at all?
Oh, I'm fine. How about you, Caleb?
I think I'm all right, Marshall. But he checks over Big Bill to make sure that the horse is okay. There.
Sit down. You bark. Don't bark.
Do you have one question for the storyteller? Do we have Big Bell in town somewhere?
There is a church that was built, so we will say, yeah, it does have a bell tower.
Well, I think we best get to the tower and ring that bell. Get the fire brigade out here. We got to put this out before we lose everything.
My horse is incredibly fast. I can try and ride ahead if you like.
Uh,
Marshall, would you like to hop on and lead the way?
sure. Caleb, you watch Blue if that's all right.
Of course. Make sure he's well taken. Or is Blue a boy or girl?
He's a feller.
Okay. I'll make sure he's well taken care of.
Make sure that Miss Minnie and Lady Amethyst there don't run into any trouble with the boys who might be coming out of there.
I'll make sure of that, Marshall.
And I'll hop down off of Blue and climb my way up onto Silk's horse.
All right. And are you going to just take off, I guess, or?
Yeah.
Right. About the time you two head out, Bonnie's just going to kind of meander on up. And where are them two going? Well, now, don't y'all speak at once.
Sorry, what was that?
I asked where Silk and the Marshal are going.
Oh. Sorry, I can't hear you over the fire so well. They're heading off to get the fire brigade and try and put out the fields before we lose it.
Well, what are they going to do about the other fires? Of course, you guys probably hadn't noticed them because you were too worried about being in the field. How'd you two make it out of there? I figured y'all would be dead.
Well, maybe you underestimated us. What other fires are you talking about? Give me a straight answer.
Well, there were 4 of them things that fell out of the sky.
Something out of Revelation.
And what exactly would that be? 4 fiery balls of steam falling from the sky?
The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire, mingled with blood. They were cast upon the earth. The third part of trees was burned up.
Well, first off, that's not a tree field. It's a cornfield.
Well.
Secondly, I didn't hear no angels singing.
I heard an angel sounding a trumpet a while ago. Suppose it could have just been delayed.
Did that trumpet sound anything like an army bugle by chance?
Did it?
Yes. At the time we stated it sounded a bit like an army bugle.
Well, it may have. What's your explanation for all this then?
Well, I think that floating out there in the vastness of the beyond are these giant pieces of rock. And eventually, kind of like when you got things floating on the water and there's a bit of a current, eventually they run into each other. So I think something just fell out the sky.
You think rocks just fell out the sky for no particular reason other than that they did?
Well, I think that beats the angel story.
Well, I think that's a bit of a coincidence considering all the other weird stuff that's happened around here.
Well, there's weird and then there's weird. You know, I mean, like the 2 fellers that came in a few hours ago and, threatened everybody with death and destruction. And now we got stuff falling out of the sky.
Oh, so you reckon that they're causing this death and destruction?
I don't reckon nothing, but I think they're more real than the angel.
Who's to say they're not fallen angels themselves?
Well, that could be. Just out of curiosity, do you see angels and devils everywhere?
Well, not everywhere. But I think maybe there are some that we don't notice that are at work in this world.
Yeah, it's a good thought. So anyway, where are them two headed to?
I just told you they were going to get the fire brigade, put out this field, although, oh, you said there were other fires, did you?
And I have a question. Who was on that fire brigade and how many of them are still alive? Because I do
Well,
believe a good portion of your town was blowed up.
well, I'm sure the marshal can round up the posse. He's a very charismatic man. All they need to do is get some buckets full of water. We just need to establish a line of people carrying them.
And just out of curiosity, where's this water going to come from? Because you may not have noticed this, sir, but you live in a desert.
All right. So what do you think we ought to do about this?
Well, I think that if somebody were to get out there right about now and start hacking down a path through some of there, they might be able to get the fire to stop from jumping stalk to stalk.
I don't personally have much to hack with.
Well, maybe we could hook something up behind one of y'all's horses or a couple of them and drag it through there and drag the corn down.
I promised the marshal I would take good care of Blue. I'm not about to start having him run through fires. I'm a man of my word.
That's all right. We got more horses around here. You know, another idea might be that, isn't this the farm of that man you call the Swede? Maybe he'd have something to do with that.
All right. I suppose I could go try and talk to the Swede.
You do realize I'm just stalling you because if we take long enough, it'll all be burned down and we won't have to do anything, right?
His skills, I don't know what to think of it sometimes.
Yeah. Hey. What is that big thing out there in the middle of that field? You see right around where the fire is kind of burned away from it out there.
Go take a look back and see what she's talking about.
And you can see the top of that sphere. I mean, it was a good 20, 25 feet in diameter, so it's pretty good size.
I don't know, and I don't know that we can worry about questions like that right now. There's a fire going on, if you haven't noticed, so I am going to go ask the Swede if he's got anything to deal with.
I think that's an excellent idea. Ladies, would you like to accompany him maybe and make sure he doesn't get into any more trouble?
Where now?
Have Minnie and I got there? Or is
Oh
he
yeah,
talking
you're
to
the,
himself?
you had arrived before Bonnie. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me, first of all?
Mhm.
Oh, thank God. I thought I broke my mic.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't suppose that'll be a problem if that's what we need to do.
I suppose we can.
Well, I'll just stay here and keep an eye and wait on the fire brigade.
Aren't you going to do something like help put out the fire?
Well, I just gave you the information. You're going off to check with the Swede. I figure somebody ought to stay here and keep an eye on things and be ready for when the marshal returns.
Well, all right, just watch out for creepy corn children.
I'll surely do that.
I don't think there are any more of those. Lord forbid.
Well, let's go.
Right. So you guys are going to ride off towards the Swedes? Are you just going to head out, or what's...
I think so.
All right, cool. So you
Yeah.
guys ride off. You guys ride off a ways. I'm going to kick over to the Marshal and Silk because in about this amount of time, on that fast of a horse, they'd probably be there. You've arrived in town.
As we're riding through the town here, what are we looking at, Storyteller? Anybody out on the streets?
There are a few people out. Doc is out, hand bandaged up, and the lights are on in the general store, but the storekeeper hasn't stepped outside. You hear some hammering going on, so obviously the blacksmith is still at work.
As we're going through, I'm going to start calling out, folks, there's a fire. There's a fire. Make sure you get what water you got. If you got pitchers laying at home, scoop up something out of the trough. Just get down there to the Swede's house because that field's going up fast.
All right, and so people are going to start rushing around a little bit. And as you're facing this direction in town, you can see off in the distance some flames and smoke coming up from the mountains around the where the mine would be located.
At this, Silk also speaks up in a loud voice, trying to be commanding. I would actually like to use my inspiring merit if possible. Let's just say, any available person with any ability to do anything at all, please just come help us put out these fires. And she will just be almost mimicking everything that Marshall says again, like a few seconds after he said it.
All right. Well, give me a presence, and you want to do persuasion with this?
It says presence and expression, but
expression works good. That'll work. Let's do that.
I would prefer.
No. If it specifically states it, we're going to go with what it's got. So
should have kept my mouth shut. Okay. Presence and
while you're doing that, I have to roll a couple of die. Give me just a moment, please.
And do I get the dots of the merit as well, right?
That is correct.
Okay. You cannot be serious. All right. Okay. How many people? Is it a small group? Small crowd? Large crowd?
Medium-sized crowd. I'm gonna say 5 or 6 townspeople. A lot of people live out on the farms. There'd be a few people in town.
There's a penalty for so I would have to remove 2 dice, I think, for a small crowd.
Okay.
But I already rolled. Shall I just re-roll again?
Throw away the 2 lowest dice.
All right. That is 1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay. That's going to motivate a few people in the town, and they're going to rush and grab some wagons, hook horses up to them, and a couple of people are going to take off. I'm going to run around and grab some of the farm hands. Mr. Well, Marshall, what are we going to do about the old mine?
Don't mind the mine for now. For now, we can take care of the food.
All right. Well, we saw a couple other land out that way, but they're out in the middle of nowhere, so.
Well, then that ain't our trouble for now.
Well, I'm just telling you, Marshall.
I don't mean to be cross. I'm just.
Go ahead, Silk.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, as she's like yelling, just like, and every single person who helps out, you can see me in my bedroom later.
Damn.
That goes for you too, Marshall.
Now is not the time for that, ma'am.
That's why I said later.
Come on, let's get on to the church now. I think you ought to be there anyhow.
As Caleb, Amethyst, and Minnie, right away, I would like for each one of them to give me a wits and composure roll, please. Six successes. Holy guacamole. 3 successes. All right. And 1 success. All right. Well, all of you, as you're riding off, you hear as Bonnie steps down off of her horse. Then she starts saying some words you can't quite make out what she's saying, except for Caleb. And Caleb hears her saying, "Yeah, here it is in the middle of a frickin' desert, and I'm going to have to make it rain." And then you hear this weird noise. And Caleb, you can look back and you can see in the light of the fire and the moonlight, she's holding a big, looks like a big stick, about 4 feet long. And as she takes it and tilts it to the side, you hear a noise. It's faint because of the distance and you can barely hear it over the fires, but it sounds almost like rain. And then when it slows down and stops, she tilts the stick back the other way and you hear, and by this point you've moved a little bit out of range, but you hear her start singing.
Did either of y'all hear that?
And you heard a little bit of noise, but that was it. You mostly hear the fire.
No, I hear a fire. What did you hear?
Well, talk about it later, but I think there might be more to Miss Skills than we thought.
You just now figuring that out?
I mean, even more than that.
A cool wind blows onto your face out of the east. Or pardon me. Yeah, out of the east. And it's, Caleb, you've been a farmer long enough. You know, rain may be rare, but you know that cool mist that you get when rain's moving in across the desert.
I think she might be some kind of witch.
What makes you say that?
Because I heard her talking about making it rain as we were riding off. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's about to.
It could just be a coincidence.
Well, that's strange for Julie, I think. I'll let you trust your own judgment on that.
And you feel and hear as something hits on your hat. And then a little bit more. Minnie, you feel as a drop of water lands on your shoulder.
Oh, if it musses my hair, I'm gonna be upset.
And then,
oh, don't worry,
It's-
Miss Morrow. It ain't holy water.
oh, that's cold. And then
It's
it just
fruit.
a deluge. The rain just opens up, and there is a downpour of rain. And as you're crossing passing the field, you're about even to where that big object fell out of the sky. And you can hear it hiss as the rain hits on it. Just steam rises off of it. But the fire's going down.
I'm glad it's working.
Well,
Didn't muss my hair.
think we need to still see the Swede. Because I reckon she just said that to get rid of us.
I mean, if I were her, I'd get rid of you too. So I suppose we could go see if that was just a distraction.
I don't really see the reason behind having to go back and forth with these jests at each other. It seems a little counterproductive considering that a large field is on fire at the moment. I think you are both wonderful and respectable and beautiful people. And I think we should make efforts to assume the best in everyone, including Miss Gills, and do what we can to continue to help our town. So what do you guys think is the best course of action that doesn't include name calling?
Amethyst, you are a doll.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Miss Morrow, I apologize. It was inappropriate for the situation.
Oh, my, I never expected to hear an apology out of your mouth. Well, I suppose I'm sorry you took offense to what I said.
That's a start.
Well,
where are we supposed to go again? I'm a little overwhelmed.
maybe. Does it seem like the rain is going to put out the fire, or is it just going to help?
It definitely seems to be making an impact.
What I'm asking is, would Caleb's instincts as a rancher tell him that he still needs to work on some way of trying to help put out the fire, or can he leave it to the rain?
Let's give that a wits, and I will give you either science or crafts.
Science or crafts?
Yep.
Crafts it is.
All right, so 3 successes. That's not bad. From what you can tell, yeah, it is doing pretty good. In fact, the trail that you're on is getting a little bit muddy, so it's quite a bit of water that's come down in a short period of time. Too much more, it may actually wash the crops out.
Okay. But at this rate, I think we actually need to deal with the rain rather than the fire. Now, we could go talk to the marshal about this, or we could try and help the Swede do something about his crops getting washed out.
I mean, is there really any need to see them? Since the rain does appear to be taking care of the fire.
True enough.
Maybe meet up with the marshal and see what he's found out.
All right, back to the marshal it is then.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, so you're going to turn around and head back the way you came?
Yep. Come on, Blue.
All right. With that, I'm going to go back to the marshal and to Silk, who have arrived at the church.
Why have we come here?
Well, there's a bell up in that tower. We're going to get as many people aware of what's happening as we can. Storyteller, do we have any rain around us?
No.
All right. So I'm rushing into the church. Silk, you just don't run off nowhere, all right?
Okay.
And I'll head inside and start ringing that bell just as hard as I can.
All right. So it makes noise, and it of course gathers attention, but it'll be heard from farms all the ways around. So how long you want to ring it, and what are you going to do afterwards?
I think I'm gonna sit and ring it for about a good 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna head out front to meet anybody that's come in to start hearing. And I imagine I'll be staying there a while.
Okay. Yeah, you probably will. So all right.
Silk is trying to seduce every single one who comes to that bell ring.
All right. All right. Well, you get a couple of guys slapped by their wives, so you know. Oh, wait a minute. I just want to make sure you said every single person. So you might get a few wives slapped by the husbands too.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
fair.
not good. But yeah.
I want to be equal offer. Oh, it was okay for the guys to. You heard that, right? Well, back with Caleb and the two ladies, you come out, and as you emerge from the side of the field, you see Bonnie sitting on the side of the road with a piece of corn, and she's eating it. She's like, "It's fresh cooked if y'all want any. It's pretty good." No takers?
I think I'll pass. Thank you.
Don't think I got the appetite right now.
Well, it was quite fortuitous this rainstorm came in, wasn't it?
Yeah, did you use some kind of like I don't know. Is that one of your skills?
Oh, I don't know what you're thinking about. I'm an officer of the law.
Well, I just maybe it was nothing, but I thought I heard some kind of rain type noise coming from you after you dismounted your horse. And so I figured it might be you. It's okay if
No.
it is.
Well, I don't know what you're thinking there. That'd be kind of a weird way to do things. And why would I send you all off if I had a way to stop a fire?
A distraction.
So we didn't know you could do the thing that you did.
Well, obviously, if I did and you know I did it, then it didn't work very well. So I'm obviously not very good at it. So maybe I'm not good at doing the other things too. I wonder where that marshal is.
I think maybe I'm just good at picking up on that kind of thing. Like that unicorn. I'm not supposed to tell the others.
Yeah, that is a little bit odd, isn't it?
I think it's magical.
You know, I'm a little bit concerned about that bell ringing off in the distance there. We already know the army was interested. A good thing there wasn't any army around here when these things hit, or we'd be probably looking at all sorts of trouble. Don't you think so, Caleb?
What exactly are you trying to get at?
I'm trying to say that we probably don't want the army nosing around here. Marshall didn't seem too thrilled with the idea.
I suppose you're right. Come to think of it, I suppose I would like to get a good look at that thing sitting in that field.
Now you're talking, young man. And she steps up, drops the corn on the side of the road, and hops up on her horse.
Sorry to drag you here, there, and yonder, ladies, but if you don't mind, I'd like to suggest another change of course. Want to head back to that field with me? There's something I think I want to look at.
Well, as long as it's not on fire or anything anymore, I suppose that's fine.
At this point, the fire's out. There's smoke, and the rain has stopped.
We'll say, Miss Skills, you have a nice singing voice.
Oh, well, thank you. It came to me when I was working in the cotton farms down in Louisiana.
Well,
Bro, jump.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Miss Skills. But I'm glad to have you here, I suppose.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, are you sure you won't be dragging the marshal's horse back out there in the field?
Well, where else would I put it? I guess I could.
Well, she hops down off of her horse and says, well, I'm pretty sure we can just tie him up right around here somewhere. If you want to walk, it's up to you.
Yeah, Caleb will look around somewhere to tie Lou up.
And Bonnie will reach into a saddlebag and pull out a little metal disc with a hoop on the top of it, put her horse's reins through it, and drop it down onto the ground and go, well, that'll keep mine here. I'm afraid he won't hold for too many, though.
You're sure that'll keep him here?
They're trained this way. It's kind of like a farmer. You put him behind his plow and he's going to follow that row to the end. You put the horse on something that's held in place, and if they're trained, they're not going to fight it. They're going to assume it means they're tied up and just take it that way. Kind of like that farmer who will be behind that plow forever because he just can't see anything beyond it.
Suppose you're right about the horse, but I'd hate if I came back and found a cylindrical chunk taken out of him.
Well, that would be a bad thing, but I think they were going mainly for the horses, and for the cows, and I'm pretty sure your horse is not a cow.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's enough jawing. Let's get over to the field.
So she's going to start walking out, and are Minnie and Lady Amethyst going to walk or stay mounted?
Minnie would probably stay mounted.
Okay. Protect your dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would stay mounted as well for the romances.
Okay. So Caleb, if you're willing, Bonnie and you will take the lead.
Yep.
As you're walking your way in there.
Sure.
You get the smell of roasted corn and burnt plant matter. But as you get a little ways in, you start picking up another smell. One of them is that smell you get when you go by the blacksmith's and he's been working. You know, it's that hot iron kind of a smell. But then you also get the smell of roasted meat.
Oh, the soldiers.
Do you say that out loud?
Maybe. As Caleb has a moment of confusion and then horrified realization.
But did you say it out loud?
Yeah, let's say I did.
Okay. What soldiers would that be, Mr. Caleb?
Oh, well, the ones that were sticking up Marshall and I before it started raining fire.
So you did run into some soldiers out here in the field.
Well, we weren't doing anything wrong. I'm not sure why they wanted us so badly.
I have my suspicions that when their fearless leader, the captain, hears about this, he's going to be wondering how you and the marshal pulled this off. how you managed to kill these men, because he seems like that kind of a guy.
Us? How are we gonna conjure fire out of the sky? We ain't you.
I ain't conjured nothing. I just sat down and had me a nice ear of corn. I was going to say we could have some roast meat, but now I'm not so sure it'd be a good kind to have. Not to mention the captain had probably noticed a piece or two missing, right? She kind of elbows you.
Adam, we were talking about dead men.
Well, yeah. But they don't care. They're dead.
Well, I care. There's a reason I raise cattle, not people.
Well, because one would be illegal. I mean, what kind of business are you trying to run, Mr. K? Are you saying that you would farm humans?
Well, no. I was just saying that I wouldn't. I find it immoral and offensive.
What part of it do you find immoral and offensive, just out of curiosity?
Well,
is it the eating part?
I wouldn't eat them, and I wouldn't treat them like animals.
Wait a minute. Tell me, Mr. Caleb, how would you breed them?
Breed them?
Well, I mean,
wouldn't.
You breed the cow. You do realize that it takes the two cows to make the little cows, right? You understand how the process works.
Caleb looks to see how far it is to the saucer.
Well, it's the ball, the big ball,
or whatever it is. Ball.
Yeah,
it's a ball. Sorry, not a saucer.
The great ball of fire. Yeah.
Oh, the ball of fire. That's
yeah. You're probably about 20 yards away at this point.
What? I don't know. If you want to know how people breed, you better ask Miss Morrow. She knows.
Miss Morrow, we're having a discussion of extreme importance up here, and Mr. Caleb would like to know how you breed humans.
I would not like to know that.
I'll be delighted to tell you, darling, because I don't think you know how.
I certainly do know how.
He's considering making a farm and farming people.
I never considered that.
Farming people?
Started this out saying I wouldn't do it. I find it disgusting. It's a reprehensible idea.
Farming people? No, I don't think you should do that. But if you want to learn how to breed people, I'll be glad to tell you all about it.
Why do I feel like nobody's listening to me?
I'm sorry, did you say something?
How much farther are we from where we need to go?
By the way, you guys smell the roasted meat as well. Just to be clear.
At 20 yards.
Okay. Let's keep on.
And as you approach, you see the occasional limb sticking out from under this big, huge metal ball that is lying in the field in front of you. You can kind of tell it's an arm because, it's got what left of the roasted hand on the end of it. Clothing's pretty much burned away. There's a leg here.
I do not like the look of this.
No, I have one question. Where were you and the marshal standing?
Let's see. The field's changed so much since we were last in it. But Caleb tries to look around and figure out where he was.
How exact do you want to be? Do you want to roll for it?
Yeah, I can roll for it.
All right. Let's just do a simple wits and composure to kind of draw back to where you were. It hadn't been that long.
Those.
Okay. You can roughly see where you were. You remember the thing came down in front of you and the soldiers were in front of you. So you kind of realize, you have to be over in this area on the side.
I reckon we must have been about there.
So all this flat circle around here, that wasn't done by you. That's this crop circle that y'all were talking about back in the town.
Suppose so, yes.
Mm-hmm. She puts her hand up to the metal ball, but about a foot away from it, she's like, that's still pretty hot.
I imagine it would be. Though the rain's cooled down the rest of the field.
So do you still think this is some kind of angel's balls?
Tell you the truth, I'm not quite sure what it is. Miss Skills, I'm just reasoning it best as I can. I've never heard of such things before.
Well, I'm going to take you back to our discussion that we had at the location where you saw your father. And you mentioned over here in something that the gray-skinned people said.
Something they said.
You said that they had mentioned something about pounding the earth with their balls?
I thought they were just being vulgar.
Well, she kind of points at it and goes, maybe they weren't.
So they did do this.
Well, we don't know that, but I'm just kind of trying to tweak your thoughts on this. Especially since they seem to think that one of their people is missing and your brother's missing. And they make threats and they said they'd destroy everything. Now, granted, 4 of these, I mean, it did some damage, but...
So this is just a taste of what's to come then.
I'm not planning on tasting it. I put that right up there with eating your military friends here.
Well, what do you two ladies make of this?
You're muted. Okay.
I got it. We're in the end times, are we not? I mean, anything is possible at this point. I think I mentioned before, whatever gets thrown at us, I'll just take for face value, I suppose. Not really sure what else to do at this point.
Well, now, I don't quite think that we're in the end of times. I just think there's...
Well, that's what the Hopi said.
Those fellers in your inn, they said they were going to destroy the world.
Well, it does seem like our world is kind of being destroyed right now.
I just feel like it would take a lot more to just destroy all of this. I mean, I don't deny something's happening. I just can't hardly think of everyone and everything that we know and love just being gone.
Yeah. Well, if we're good-hearted and good spirited, then we're supposed to be able to go on past this, right? So we wouldn't be gone, we'd just be in a different place. But I do not think that I'm necessarily ready to move.
I don't want to find out which one I am. I don't want to move either.
Yeah.
No comment.
And poor Caleb here, I mean, he's just doomed.
Well, he is talking
that-
about farming humans, so that might count negatively against him.
That
I
puts you
never
at the,
wanted to.
that puts you at the lowest of the low, darling.
I never wanted to farm humans.
I don't understand why we keep needing to make fun of Mr. McCarty. He's done nothing
Thank you.
wrong.
Thank you, Miss Amethyst.
Except he does keep picking on me, so I am.
Well, you
Well, I
keep picking on
apolo-
him.
I apologize for that.
And then you did it again. Like all men, you do it again. It's in your nature to belittle women. You just can't help it.
Well,
You've driven the sheriff to drink.
well, I don't belittle Miss Amethyst. I just belittle you.
You belittle all women except for Amethyst. Amethyst is a doll. You can't hurt her.
Well, I never would, and I don't belittle all women. When would I do that?
Well, you did me, Miss Silk, Miss Skills, pretty much everyone that works for me in my establishment. You insulted the entire establishment, and then you insult pretty much any woman that you come across.
I do not insult any woman I come across.
Most of them. The only one I don't think you ever insulted besides Lady Amethyst is your mama.
Don't you dare bring my mama in.
I did not. I just said you never insulted her. That's the only other one I can think of.
And I've never spoken ill of my younger sisters either.
You're 3 women out of all of us. My Lord. You are on a roll, sir.
I am surrounded by chickens. You got 2 chickens, and one of them goes peck, peck, peck. And then the other one goes peck, peck, peck. But then the feed runs out in front of him. This one's upset because his family's in trouble. This one's upset because her loved one is out looking for his daughter. And they need more feed. So they go peck, peck, peck. And then they're right up next to each other. And then they go peck, 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 peck.
Well, if that damn chicken would stop stealing my corn, I guess it'd be all right. Get on your own side.
Well,
Look around,
we
Miss
have
Morrow.
lost-
We're in a cornfield. Eat as
Well,
much
then
as you
go to
want.
the other side.
Oh! This is gonna like break down. Lady Amethyst is just gonna take her little chickens and wave them around. Put it in. She's got her elbows on the pommel of her horse, and she's just letting the horse go, and she's just all slumped over like this. And she's just like, it is the end times. In fact, it has already been the end times, and I did not ascend. I am in hell.
Bonnie's going to walk over and put her hand on your knee and go, "It's okay, sweetie. Don't let the peckers get to you."
That's what I try to tell her every day.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Marshall. So several people went out in wagons. They've gathered people, anybody from around town who's not a whole lot of people, but they've gathered together. So you've pretty much got the people you're going to get.
All right, now, folks. Swede's had a fire down in his field. I want anybody with any kind of jugs, any container you can find, fill it up with what water you can get. We're going to head down that way. I know some of you is awful concerned about the old mine. I'm going to put myself together a small posse. We'll head up that way after we take care of the Swede's field, all right?
Minnie's chef is going to come out and Marshall, we got a couple of big barrels full of whiskey. We could drain them out and use them to carry water if you want.
Well, just drain the one for now, and we might be needing the other one for later, I'm thinking.
All right. Sorry, everybody. We're going to be getting rid of our whiskey for just letting it drain out on the ground. Sorry to break y'all's heart.
I could make it not go to waste.
Wait, what do you mean, Miss Sill? You got some containers I don't know about?
Oh no, I just don't you like whiskey?
Yes, but now is not the time, Miss Sill. I'm sorry, ma'am. Now is not the time for that. Right now, we got to work on saving the Swedes' field. Ain't going to help nobody if we're drunk. You hear that, folks? Ain't nobody going to help if they're drunk.
You're very smart, Marshall. I won't drink if you promise you'll spend the evening with me.
Jail cell ain't very comfortable, but I'm sure I can make accommodations.
So they bring out the barrel, and he takes an axe and just pops out the bung, and it just starts pouring out in the street. And Silk, you can smell this from a distance. And I'm going to need a wits and composure from you. And because of your condition, subtract your clarity.
A single tear going to roll down my eyes. I watched that whiskey flow out.
Yeah, no, I got a luck die and it was a 1. So
well, at least it wasn't a total failure. You see this alcohol just pouring out, going to waste, and it breaks your heart. But fortunately, you don't lose control of yourself.
Oh, I had a luck die and it was a 1. I got a 1.
Yeah, but it wasn't a dramatic failure. It was just a failure. So I'm not gonna cause you any more damage on that. But let's just do this. You're gonna be mildly distracted by this for the rest of the night. So that's gonna be a -2 to your die rolls. So, a bit of brokenheartedness. All right, Marshall, you ready to head back to where the fire's at?
That's right. I'm going to ask Miss Silk if you would kindly lead the way for me, and I'll make sure we don't have too many stragglers. I'll walk behind.
Huh?
Take the horse and lead the folks down to the field. Can you manage that?
Yes.
All right. And I'll be bringing up the rear, making sure we get as much water as we can up there. All right?
Didn't take you as an exhibitionist, Marshall, but okay.
Hey, I'm not exhibiting nothing.
I feel like I've misunderstood you somewhere, but that's okay. I can lead the way.
All right. Just be careful now. We'll meet any other accidents tonight.
So I'll go back to, while you guys are heading that way, I'm going to go back to the field and see if anything's going on with the crew that's standing around there, bickering and pecking at each other.
Well, let's just get a move on.
And where to?
I don't know. I just want to find Emilio.
Well, I think he's, you notice how he seemed a little bit nervous around those army officers. I have a feeling he and Violetta are probably hiding out somewhere.
They don't got to hide. I ain't going to let anything happen to him.
Well, he seems to have a little bit of concern about it. What do you know of his history?
Not much. He ain't told me that much. I don't like to pry.
Mr. Caleb, what do you think of the possibilities of getting this thing out of the field?
How big is this thing again?
About 25 feet in diameter.
That's big.
It's big.
I probably don't really fancy our chances of getting this out of the field, do I?
I will leave that to you. If you want to roll for it, it'd be wits and or intelligence and academics.
Miss Skills, this thing's enormous. I don't much fancy our chances of getting this out of here without a team of horses and men.
Well, we probably can't do anything till it cools down anyway. But
And then we'd have to organize a whole operation around getting that.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems a little out of place here to me. What do you think?
What kind of metal is it anyway? Just iron?
Can't really tell. I can't touch it. So she she starts to reach for her pistol and stops and goes, can I see your rifle? I'm not going to hurt it.
All right. I'm holding you to your word on that.
She takes it and takes the barrel and taps it on the sphere, and it rings like a bell. Well, that's kind of unusual.
What is this stuff?
I don't know, but I think it's hollow.
I think so too. And if that's the case, we may have a better chance of hauling it out of here than I thought.
She hands you back your rifle. Well, you know, them army boys will be up here. I bet you we can get them to haul it out of the wood. Oh, but, you know, we probably don't want them to find these bodies of their men.
I don't see much we can do about the bodies unless we want to start digging holes. Bury 'em, man.
Well, what do you think the army's going to do when they see their soldiers are dead?
Surely we can just tell them there was a fire.
Are we going to tell them that an angel's trumpeted and dropped the balls in the middle of this field and it crushed their soldiers?
Well, what else am I? What are they supposed to think? That I'm a dragon? That I breathed fire all over them and scorched them to death? I've got a right.
Is that in your book of Revelations too?
What exactly do you get out of mocking me and my beliefs, Miss Skills?
I am not mocking you. I am asking you a legitimate question and trying to save this town from having an angry army roll in here. Have you ever seen what the army does when it rolls in on a village?
I can't say I have.
I guarantee you the first thing he's going to do is he's going to blame those people up on the mesa. And what do you think's going to happen to them?
They'll hunt them down.
All right. Ladies, I apologize for asking you this, but I need your help hiding the bodies.
It wouldn't be my first time.
I'm not even going to ask, but I'm also not surprised.
I'm not going to take that as an insult. This time I'm going to take that as a compliment.
All right. Bonnie is going to walk back to her horse, and she's going to come back with a shovel. It's going to take her a while to walk back. You know, left it at the street, but she's going to walk back and come back with a shovel.
Well,
and a very long knife. You can either dig or make pieces.
I'll make pieces.
Dig.
All right. All right. Lady Amethyst, if you wouldn't mind, keep an eye out for anybody who might wonder about the activities going on in the field.
We'll do that.
All right. So Caleb, as you start digging, Bonnie will help Minnie by, pulling things out, getting things stretched out, and dragging out what they can as they make them to pieces. So as you're going about this work, I'm going to need a wits and composure from all three of you. And I'm assuming that there would be some moral objection maybe from Caleb to what they're doing, especially the chopping up. How about you, Lady Amethyst? Minnie jumped in too easily. I don't think she has a problem with it whatsoever.
What exactly are we chopping up again? Do we know?
The soldiers.
The soldiers.
The roasted soldiers, yes.
Yes. What is did Bonnie provide a reason for why we need to chop them?
No, she just said somebody chops them up and somebody digs the hole.
Smaller pieces are easier to bury.
I think Lady Amethyst is okay with it, mostly because she's not the one doing it. So
Okay.
I think she's fine, but mostly because she's in a lookout position rather than an active chopping position.
As a
She was asked to
storyteller, I love moral ambiguity.
Perfect.
All right, so give me a wits and composure, all three of you. And Caleb, you got
I got one success.
All right, that's good enough. Minnie's doing all right. All right, you guys are handling it quite well, and yeah, obviously Bonnie doesn't have any issue with it whatsoever. She's trying to figure out the size pieces. How deep are you going to dig that hole there, Mr. Caleb?
As deep as I can to keep you from desecrating those remains more than you need to.
All right. So this is going to be going on for a while with the digging. Marshall and Silk, you arrive to the field, and you can tell the road you came in on is dusty and dry. And all of a sudden, you see your horse, Caleb's horse, and Bonnie's horse. And from them forward, it looks like a rainstorm came through.
That don't happen here.
Looked like it rained.
Well, I see that, but just here, nowhere else.
You hear some grumbling from behind. Marshall, I thought the field was on fire.
It was a moment ago, I swear to you folks. Well,
we got our own stuff to be taken care of, and we wasted a whole barrel of whiskey.
No, now we ain't wasted nothing. As you may recall, I mentioned the mine. Now, I'm going to warn you folks. I only want those of you who are stern of heart. We're going to head up that ways.
DM, does the mine still look like on fire or anything? Does it look fine?
There's definitely light from the hillside.
Damn it. All right.
Now, folks, some of you may have noticed that we had some guests earlier today, U.S. Army. I'd like to keep our town to us. I don't know about the rest of you. I think we need to put out that fire at the mine. Give them less reason to come down here.
Marshall, if you'd like to lead the way, I can try and find out what happened to the others. I mean, their horses are here.
Yeah, and left Blue right here, too. I'm sure they had a good reason, though. So you ride on ahead and find them, if you will. And, folks, like I said, those of you that are made of sterner stuff, we're going to head up to the mine. The rest of you folks, I guess you can return back to your evening. But I warn you now, unless you can work a rifle, work a pistol, I don't want you heading up to me with that in mind.
There's a lot of discussion in the group. I'll roll for it in a moment to see who goes with and who goes back. Lady Amethyst, I'm going to say if you were keeping watch and you were actually being attentive, you probably heard the marshal because he's got a pretty loud voice.
Yes, I was indeed. I will let them know.
All right.
So I'll quickly, I probably would have dismounted my horse, and so I'd run over and let them know, and just, I think the marshal's on his way, and I don't know. It sounds like he's talking to people, so he's either got help or I don't know, but I doubt he or anyone from the town would want to see what we're doing.
Well, I guess we better get digging and cutting and burying a lot faster.
I'm digging as fast as I can.
Let's have a resolve and stamina from Caleb and Minnie. and I'll join in with Bonnie, and let's see how much progress we've made on this.
Silk, before heading off to try and find the others, will wink at the marshal, say, "I haven't forgotten about our deal later," and she'll then ride off before he can say anything.
All right. Okay. Wow. We have not made much progress at all. So I think what we're going to end up with is we've got a stack of arms and legs and other body parts that have kind of stacked up. Caleb, you've got a hole. I mean, it's muddy, so it's probably flopping back in on you as you're digging it out. So you've probably got you a hole that's a couple of feet deep, maybe about 3 feet around. Not going to hold a whole lot in there.
Is that all the 2 successes gets me?
That's all 2 successes. I went with everybody. Bonnie got 4. You got 2. Minnie got 1. That's 7 successes out of a target of, I was thinking to be really successful, a target of 20. To be medium, so that would put minimum success around 10. So yeah, I'm saying you did not do real well. Out of all y'all's resolve and stamina dots, it didn't turn out too well. So.
Well, this isn't going well.
Bonnie's just going to start kicking body parts that have been chopped up into the hole. Now, come on, we got to wrap it up for now. Caleb, I know it distresses you. Trust me, I have seen worse than this.
All right. Believe that.
So, Silk, if you're riding in on your speedy horse, you would make it in time to see Bonnie kick something into a hole, and Caleb start covering it back up with dirt.
We brought help, but it doesn't look like you guys need it, so we sent it up to the mines.
But we need help, just not putting out fires.
Do you want me to try and bring the townspeople here?
No, not at all. Certainly
They
not.
could probably help.
Do you think they would? I think they might have a problem with this.
Well, I mean,
Like Samuthus was saying.
Once you explained your idea to them and let them know that you were doing this to protect the town, I think they'd probably be more than willing to help you, Caleb.
Well, I have misgivings about it, but all right, in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say.
Do you want me to try and get them?
Yeah, if you could. How far away are they?
Not too far. I can probably catch them up.
Please.
All right. And Silk, kind of confused, like looks almost at Bonnie, expecting her to tell her not to be on her own, but then just goes.
Bonnie goes, "Come on, hurry back. We need people who can cut and who can dig."
I then try and find the marshal again.
All right. So, Marshall, the discussion is finished, and a few people have decided they're going to go back to town because what's up? There's nothing up at the old mine. It's abandoned. There hadn't been none of the prospectors go up there anymore.
Marshall.
Yes, Miss Silk. How can I help?
It's me again. Before you all leave, we do actually need your assistance. The group down there, they buy a large object. It looks like they're digging. I think they need your help.
All right, folks.
Luckily, it's nothing strenuous. I think it's just digging. So, anyone, you don't have to have like a rifle or anything for this.
Them's of you that would be inclined, please help Miss Silk. The rest of us will head up to the mine. But, folks, please understand, we're not trying to run you back and forth all over the town. I wouldn't get you up out of your beds for no reason.
Yeah, we understand that, Marshal, but we just really don't see the purpose to going up to the mine. And if a few people are, they run into things up there.
Well, and that's why I made sure to ask for them as a you that is sterner. Those of you that don't feel comfortable going up there, I understand your objection. Just please lend what a hand you can in the field, if you would. If not, then no one can blame you for going back to your home tonight. I understand.
Yes, those brave enough can go with the marshal to the mines, and those not feeling so brave, it's okay, and you can come with me to help the others.
All right. So about 5 people are willing to go with you, Silk. Marshall, you've got 2 that are willing to go with you.
Well, it's slim pickings, but it's going to have to do.
All right. So Silk, you ride in, and as soon as you appear with your helpers, Bonnie looks up and says, "Okay, great. We need some of you over here chopping up the bodies, and we need the rest of you coming here and helping digging so we can bury the corpses."
Come on, everybody.
Look, I don't like it as much as any of you, but if we don't do this, we're going to have a hell of a lot of trouble from there. And if you'll excuse my language, but I use it for good reason, we're going to have a lot of trouble from the army. Not just us, but the people up there in that mesa who've done nothing wrong.
Maybe we can distract them. Get them into the tavern for some free drinks.
They done emptied out a barrel of your whiskey, Minnie.
I know, darling, but it's for the good of all the people around here. Now, we don't let the army get involved. Maybe we get them over there, get them drunk, give them a little discount. Lady Amethyst, you up for a little work tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll get them back to the tavern. We'll get them drunk and occupied.
Well, now hold on, Lady
Y'all get this
Amethyst.
finished.
Well, don't. I don't know. I'm afraid those soldiers might mistreat her.
As long as we've been working together, and as long as Lady Amethyst has done her job, do you think anyone would be stupid enough to mess with her? Or do you think I would allow it?
Well,
She holds up a knife in like a hand or something. Do I look like I would allow it?
Might I take a moment? Lady Amethyst, could I talk to you really quick?
Oh, yes. I do want to say that I'm quite a capable lady. I feel confident in my ability to mitigate conflict, like the chicken thing. Yes, I'll walk away and I'll talk to you.
When I first met you, you said that you do this thing for money, right?
Yes.
If it wasn't for money, would you do it?
No, I don't think I would actually. I've actually quite enjoyed helping out the town, and I've quite enjoyed getting to know some new people I feel like I've put to use skills that I not her skills, but my skills. I feel like I've put to use talents and skills that I haven't used since I was a little kid, and it feels pretty nice. So, I suppose if it wasn't for money, I would try to maybe do something else. Well, Caleb mentioned that maybe I'd be good at like lassoing and cattle wrangling, and I think that might be interesting. And I like helping the town, so um, no, if it weren't for money, maybe I'd try to do some other stuff that suits me better. Not to say that I'm not skilled in what I do at the saloon. I do that quite well too, but it's just I don't know. It's not my favorite.
I have a proposition for you.
Oh,
I have no true use for money right now. What I'm really
well, everyone has a use for money. Are you kidding me? That's I mean, I no one would work if there wasn't a use for money. That's how you make sure you get your clothes and your food, and you take care of any family you have. I mean, my parents can't really work in town. They haven't really. I think my dad just doesn't like seeing people, but they don't really work that much. So I just try to. I have to work to help provide for them, and also provide for my own. And you got to provide for your own, and then you've got siblings too, right? So money's very important, Miss Silk.
I'm pretty sure anything that I could ever need would be provided at the tavern.
Oh,
it's too late for me. You could do something else.
well, what do you mean by that? It's never too late for anybody, Miss Silk.
Oh no, it's too late for me, but if you can help me stay at the tavern and maybe get Bonnie off my back a little bit. You said you're good with chickens and mediating?
Something like that. Well, so I mean, I guess I could explain. So, Miss Minnie Morrow and Mr. McCarty were what I like to call pecking at each other, and so I was doing a little chicken.
It doesn't matter. If I was to work at the tavern, would I be able to give my money to you so you wouldn't have to work there?
Well, I like to earn my keep.
If you enjoy your job, if you enjoy your job, I'm not trying to take your job. I promise. You can sleep with men as often as you like. I'm just saying, if you're only doing it for money, you could take anything I make instead.
Well, that's a very, very kind proposition. Now, I think maybe you don't understand how money works. I really don't want you to give me something as valuable as that. I mean, that's how you get stuff like boots and chocolate and drinks. And
Silk will just grab Amethyst's cheek, kiss her on the forehead, and will just say, "It's settled." And if you should know already, but just a little hint. If you're offering those services to men, they will buy you anything. I've not spent money on alcohol or food in decades.
Oh. Huh. That's really impressive. Well, yeah, I suppose if you can provide something that you're talented with, and be able to subsist off of it, then maybe I can find something that I'm talented with and be able to subsist off of that. I mean, I mostly kind of kept to myself and did my job. I mean, I talked with the people that I needed to, but I've gotten a lot closer to the marshal, and I've gotten a lot closer to Mr. McCarty, and I don't know, maybe there is an opportunity for me in something else. So I will. I will take your proposition. We'll talk to Miss Morrow about it, and I'd be happy to walk you through it and train you and talk to you about it, and then maybe I could go lasso stuff.
And Silk will just give Lady Amethyst a hug.
Oh.
And will probably, when she like pulls back, will probably have like a slight tear in her eye.
Oh.
And will nod. Let me just check something really quick. Sorry, Tam sent me something. Is that something I can do? You're muted, Tam.
Yes. Yes, it can
Okay.
be. If you make some kind of an agreement and if there is a price and a benefit, it's a bond. So yes, you can. You
Okay.
can make it a contract.
I would like to do that then.
All right. When you kiss Lady Amethyst on the forehead, for a moment, the outline of your lips glows on her head, and you feel almost this warm sensation that kind of washes out from it.
Miss Silk, I think you will have no problem at your job.
I never do. Anyways, where do the legs and the arms go? Do they go separately, or is there some kind of organizing system?
Oh yes, I forgot we were burying people. You'd have to ask Miss Skills. I've honestly been trying to avoid it. I mean, I've buried an animal before, but I've never really buried people, and I don't know. When you like someone to rest, that's kind of like a God thing, and as far as I know, I'm not really considered one with God. So, Miss Skills.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we just throwing them all in one place? Is there an organizational structure that's happening?
She walks over to where you're at. She looks in and kind of peers at your forehead and scoots your hat back a little bit. Looks over at Silk. What did you do?
I asked her whether the hands and the legs go separately.
Well, in your case, I think the legs are pretty much always separate, Miss Silk.
Always separate. Got it. Okay. I'll do that. And she'll just start picking up legs and putting them in different holes. Like,
All right. Well, I was going to have a role for the townspeople helping, but Caleb made a good speech and there was so much role play I didn't want to interrupt. So they're just helping. They're a little wondering what the hell's going on. And there's a lot of talking about blah, blah, blah. Bonnie's going to look up and, Silk, where did the marshal go? Silk, where did the marshal go?
He's leading the bravest to the mines.
Now, why would they be going up to the mines? There isn't anything up there, is there? Nothing of value anyway, right?
Not to my knowledge. The marshal said that some people have been seen up there. I think he said something about prospectors. So I don't know. I think they're just going to check.
So there's nobody who would be important to you up there?
If there was, wouldn't I be helping the marshal?
Please give me a presence and subterfuge.
Little does she know that I'm also trying to avoid them.
Yeah, but you got to be worried about them.
Oh, I'm worried. That's why I'm working hard. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. 4 successes.
Miss Silk, I got the sneaking suspicion you aren't telling me the truth. Now, I am trying to help you here.
You're trying to take me back.
I'm trying to keep you from getting in further trouble and placing, shall we say, a couple of cowboys into a bigger bit of trouble.
I think if these cowboys you speak of were in the mines like you think, they're probably safer there than where you want them to be.
She's going to lean in and put her hand on your shoulder. And an enormous ball just fell out of the sky and crushed a group of soldiers, and we are now chopping up and placing into a hole. Do you not think that it may have hit your boys? They are up there at the mine, aren't they?
No, and if it did hit my boys, I would feel it. I would know.
Well, folks, I'm going to join the marshal going up to the mine. If any of you want to come along, I'm sure that the townsfolk would be more than happy to finish up here.
We need you here. They don't need any more help. It was no women specifically.
Well,
they
I
wanted to
appreciate
avoid
that.
Distraction, so you're not allowed to go.
You're always welcome to come with me, Miss Silk. I mean, maybe
we're
you
not
could
welcome.
motivate them to do a little bit more.
The marshal said no women, so we have to stay here.
She's going to pat you on the head.
Whose cat is this? Sorry.
They just wander in the fields from side to they're the free range kittens.
Come on, sweetie.
Many kittens flow across the land. You should see when they move as a herd and stampede. It is an incredible thing.
Oh my goodness. She's obsessed. I think it's best you stay here. Plus, if you leave, I might run away.
Well, you just do that. I think I'm going to go check on things up at the mine.
Well, then, I'll go ahead then. I'll check ahead.
Yes, good enough. Caleb, Lady Amethyst, Miss Typist.
You wanted me to fix my mic so you could hear me better, and I did.
All right. So I believe Bonnie and Silk are going to head up to the mine. Silk probably faster than anybody. The rest of you, are you going to stay and dig and bury, or are you going to come along? It's totally up to you.
I don't think I'd want to leave the townsfolk
Okay.
to just do the burying by themselves, especially when they weren't there at the instigation of it.
Okay.
So I would feel an obligation to stay.
All right. Very good.
If no one else does.
All right.
Minnie would stay with Amethyst for sure.
All right.
Okay.
Caleb?
Yep, same as
All right.
them.
You're going to keep digging? Awesome. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So set your clocks, people, please. 10 minutes. We will be back and see you then. Welcome back. All right, so we have Silk taking off to catch up with the marshal, and since her horse rides a little faster than everything else, I'm just going to make it pretty easy that she arrives there about 10 minutes before Bonnie does, because the sheriff wouldn't be that far. I don't know how hard you're riding. I'm assuming it's a distance, so, you know.
I'm going an easy pace. We got a ways to go. I got 2 townsfolk with me. I see no need to rush.
All right.
Sorry, just looking for the remainder of my dice.
No problem.
No, yeah, as I so upon you probably hear her like just galloping straight on her horse towards you as fast as possible. Which is super extra fast on the horse. And will pull up beside you, and you could just see like on her face just kind of nervousness, a little bit of fear. And she just says, Marshall, hi. Really quick. Bonnie is on her way. This is I don't have time to explain it now. I can explain more later, but I'm gonna go up ahead. There's something I need to deal with up in the mines. Try and stall Bonnie if you can. She's not a good person.
Whoa. Now, Miss Silk, hold on now. Hold on. Come riding up here like a bat out of hell, telling me something you got to do in the mine. Now, I know that place is dangerous. You can't be going up there alone.
I understand, but I need to get up there before she does.
Folks, if you'll excuse me just a moment, I need to ride off to the side here with Silk a moment.
All right, Marshal.
I apologize. I'll be right back. Miss Silk, if you're going to tell me that you need to run up ahead to a place that I know to be filled with dangerous creatures, you got to at least tell me something. What do you mean Miss Bonnie's a bad person?
Bonnie is trying to take me back to a place that I don't want to be anymore. And the 2 people that rescued me from that place, she's also looking for, and I think they're in the mines. I don't want them to know where I am, but I want Bonnie not to know where they are even more. I'm not going to go in the mines if I can. I just want to run up. I just want to yell inside of it, and then I can turn tail and head straight back. I just need to do something.
I guess we all got to do what we feel is right, but I'm warning you. Up there, I don't know if you will be safe.
Do you have kids, Marshall?
Well, no, I don't.
Then I can't expect you to understand. I will be back as soon as I can. I'm sorry. And she will rear her horse and just head straight to the mines if she can.
All right. Very good.
And I'll join up with the 2 townsfolk heading that way and just say, well, it looks like we're going to receive some help here in a moment. Miss Skill's going to be joining us. And as for her, well, I don't know what she's doing, if I'm honest.
All right, Marshall. Is it safe for her to go up there alone?
Well, I tried to warn her off. She told me that things are certain ways and asked me if I had any kids. And when I said no, she said I wouldn't understand. So it ain't my place to stop her. I warned her, and we're heading that way anyways. It's the most we can do right now.
All right,
I'm
Marshall.
pleased with it.
Oh, all right. And in a few minutes, Bonnie rides up. She's going at a fairly fast gallop, and she slows down. And Marshall, I assume Miss Silk has been by?
That's right. Like a bat out of hell she was.
She's wanting to go warn her 2 compatriots that I'm on the way up there.
I wouldn't be surprised. She mentioned something about you wanting to take some folks back, and I tried to warn her off from going up there. Well, frankly, Miss Skills, I don't know enough about what's going on right now to make any opinion either way. You told me you're after some fellers. She seems to be after some fellers. I don't know.
Marshall, are you familiar with the concept of what happens on the farms and plantations in the South?
Yeah, well, I'm vaguely familiar. Bad business down there, anyway.
Um, Marshall, how much do you know about the history of the mine, Hawk's Rest?
Well, I can't say that I rightly know anything. Ain't my town in the first place. I kind of moved into the place, called it my own, and I guess I never took the time to ask.
Well, do you know why the mine shut down?
I thought it just dried up, but I guess you're going to tell me otherwise.
Well, that's the story that went on. Actually, originally, there was a big collapse in the mine.
Hmm.
But you see, when you tell people that a mine has collapsed, they eventually get it back into their head. There's still gold in that mine. And so
Sure,
they
there's a
decide they
mine.
want to go back into it. But you tell people the mine has run out of gold, and there's no reason to go back in.
So you mean to tell me that the fellas you're after are prospecting in a mine that
No,
should...
no, Marshall, trying to tell you that the mine was not shut down for the reasons people tell you. Let me tell you a little story. About 15, 20 years ago, that mine was really active. And there was a little dark-skinned girl who, her job was to carry the explosives down to the miners, bring oil back up with her, and take water down. Basically, carried things back and forth. She did this every day for many years. She started it when she was 11 years old, and she was sold to the owner of the mine. And then she worked in there. When she turned 16, some of the miners started finding a little bit more interest in her than just carrying the water, as you might imagine. But there were some good men, too. But one day they were working down in this mine, and they had dug down deeper than most mines have ever dug before. And they found something. And what they found was so horrific, so startling. Well, to put it mildly, the first 10 men who were down in the shaft, they only found small pieces of their body and some blood smeared on the mine. And then they decided to send that little dark-skinned girl down in there. And she did. And she's pretty crafty. She was kind of skilled at making her way around places and not being seen. And she came back up and told the other miners what she saw. They'd seen it too, but their minds had blocked it originally. And then they heard the noises, the scraping noises of hundreds of legs, as something was crawling its way up from the deep in this mine. And you see, one of the miners, a very brave man, I will say, said that there was only one way to protect the town. So he gathered up all the explosives, wrapped them around his body, and set a fuse. And he lit that fuse and walked into the shaft. And there was, of course, an explosion. And the mine began to cave in. There were 5 other miners down in the hole at that time, and one little dark-skinned girl. And them miners were so desperate to get out of there with their own lives, they trampled that little girl. And she ended up getting trapped. But one of them prospectors, a former card shop, who decided to make his money in gold, he realized that the young girl was not with them. He came back down in the mine and he dragged that little girl out. When Mr. Beauregard and I made it to the surface of the mine, there was a group of men there from the Bay City Marshals. I ended up working in service. I went from being unpaid, carrying explosives in a mine, to hunting down people. And she raises her hand, and you can see a mark around her wrist. When you're bound with irons, eventually the scars go away. Marshall, I was bound to a man who was not of this world. I know. I worked for that man for 20 years. Until I finally broke free one day. And when I broke free, I went and found Jack. And we went into business for each other. We joined up with the Pinkertons to give some authority and respect to our positions. Sheriff, I don't believe in one human being in bondage to another. Ever.
Seems right to me.
People I work for, well, they send us out to hunt these individuals, and I'm sad to say I have a pretty poor track record. Seems I find them a lot of times, but sadly, there are a lot of escapes.
I can understand your position. Well, she's got a big lead on us. And I'm concerned that we would slow you down. But if we go up there together, I will do what I can to help you detain these men, whatever they might be.
And they're cowboys.
Right? So these cowboys will do what we can to make sure you don't have another escape. But I gotta know, you say Miss Silk come from some court. She need to go back there.
Well, she had a job somewhat similar to Miss Morrow and the lady. But she was more, less for entertainment, more for production purposes.
Look, what I mean to say is, I already made promise to her that she can spend the evening down at this jail with me. So at the very least, can't be doing nothing with her any time before then. Them two boys, those cowboys, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So we'll do what we can to get them caught up. But I'm putting my faith in you, Miss Skills. I am.
I can assure you 100%, Sheriff. I'm trying to make sure nobody gets hurt and nobody opens that mine.
That suits me well. I seen something that come out of there, and I still don't understand it, and I don't want to. So if we can seal that up any better than it's already done, we'll do that too.
Marshall. And with that, I'm going to put us on hold. And Silk, you arrive at the mine.
Okay. I change. I think now might be a good time for me to change my appearance.
Okay.
Trying to find out how much that costs again. Okay, yeah. Okay. Right. I will change myself to look like just a random person from the town. Just completely no one in particular, just someone random.
Okay.
And I will approach the mine, and before going in, I will just yell out, "Bull! Jersey! If you're in there, the Pinkertons are on their way. You need to move." And then I will get on my horse, go about like a distance away, but to the point where I can still see the entrance.
Okay.
And just kind of sit and wait and see if anything happens, but be ready to
Okay.
like skedaddle in case someone or something comes out.
So as you walk up to the mine and you're changing, your skin turns into like bark and leaves and then just falls off and fades away, and a new person steps out. Your voice is the same though. As you yell this down into the mine. You notice, as you've seen before, there are a couple of like tubes of some kind of cloth material going down into it, but you don't hear anything, and there's no reply. At least no immediate reply to your caller. But then you go down. There's several good places that were set up to hide. The boys showed you them.
Mm.
So you find a good spot, and you just wait it out, I guess.
I wait. If a few minutes goes by and I'm thinking that she's probably approaching, I'd probably approach and just yell down again.
Okay. I would say they're probably a good 30 minutes behind you.
Oh, okay.
Few.
Few. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every 5 minutes, I would say she would reapproach, yell, hide.
Okay.
Wait a little bit, reapproach, yell, hide, and just keep keep going and just hoping every time that maybe they're somehow in earshot, they're somehow like closer, or like if they are in there that they can hear her.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming you're doing it every 5 times. I'm rolling for each time to see if anybody hears
okay,
you. So,
fair enough,
okay.
fair enough.
All right. Okay. All right. Before we go back to the marshal, pardon me, go back to Caleb and the townspeople and Lady Amethyst, the burial crew. I will say, you guys, everything that's exposed from it, you've been able to pretty well cut up, bury at least 2 feet deep under the ground. Well, obviously under the ground, 2 feet deep into the air. Anyway, anything else you're going to do now at this point?
Don't be suspicious.
What do y'all think? Should we try and move this thing? Get it into town, maybe?
I don't know how we're gonna do that. Do you think you're just gonna pick it up and put it in your pocket?
Well, we got a bunch of people. It's hollow. I reckon if we all push, might be able to roll it back.
Should we even mess with it though? I don't.
And what happens if you lose control of it? It's just gonna go barreling down into the town and roll somebody over?
Well,
I don't see much need in moving it from where it currently is.
military's gonna get it.
I suppose. But where would we put it in town?
Their interest. Well,
Instead of pushing it into town, why don't we just push it in a different direction out here?
I wonder if the Swede's got a barn or something we can hide it.
That would work.
I'll give you benefit of the doubt of knowing, yes, he does. He has a big storage barn.
Well, then let's push it there. I don't think we should take it into town. Let's push it into the hole in the barn.
Sure. Let's just hide it for now while we wait to figure out what to do with it.
Hey, townsfolk. If you are tired, I understand. This is a voluntary burial session that you do not need to be part of, but you so willingly were, and we thank you for that. We do need to try to move this large object and would appreciate help, but if you need to rest or go back into town, we understand.
Anyone that helps push this to the barn gets a free drink at the tavern tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to start pushing, and whoever wants to help, join in.
Well, first, I'm going to say, when you go up to this thing, it's hot.
It's still hot?
It's still hot. Yes. Now,
right.
You may be able to touch it for a little bit with your bare hands, but it will burn you. It's like a stove. It'll burn you if you stay in contact with it too long.
Caleb's going to... I'm not sure that'll help. I was going to say Caleb's going to try caking his hand in mud. Slinging mud on there to push it by.
Interesting idea. Worth a shot.
He's going to try that.
All right. I think that's quite a good concept there. Let's give you resolve and stamina. Okay. And I'm going to give you 2 extra die to your die pool.
All right.
Genius idea. One for each hand.
I might as well just help my chances. I'm going to go ahead and spend a point of willpower to add you guys.
Okay.
So that all in all, that should be 11 dice.
Awesome. That is a dramatic success. So you're able to put your hands on there. Yeah, it's still warm and you feel it. Okay. But you can place your hands on this thing and you put your back into it and you feel it shift a little bit, but it rolls right back. It's heavy. It is very heavy. But looking around, you've probably got enough people there. If you got everybody together, you might just be able to move this thing.
Does anybody join in as he's trying to push?
You can ask.
I'm tired too, but I'm going to keep pushing because I don't want the military up in our business in this town. We at Onyx Rest, we live the way that we feel is best. We don't need to be told what to do by the government all the time, nor do we need them poking their noses in our business looking for metal balls or who knows what else. So if that keeps
That's right,
them,
Caleb. They need to keep their balls out of our business.
They need to keep their hands off of your balls.
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Well, thank you, Mr. McCarty. Does no one want to help him out?
Now get your dirty hands over here on these balls and help me move forward.
That's right. We want the government to keep the hands off of your balls, but I need you to put your balls on, or your hands on his balls, so we can get.
Look, if I can see the sense in what Miss Morrow is saying, I reckon all the rest of y'all ought to be able to too.
There's no way I'm gonna make you roll for this. This is too. They muddy their hands. Amethyst, Mitty, are you helping?
Why, yeah. He can't push that ball without me. Caleb doesn't know how to push balls around. Am I wrong, Mr. McCarty?
Yes, I'm helping.
No, you're not wrong. I'm not going to say that I know all about pushing balls, because that would just give you more ammunition.
All right, so everybody muddies their hands up and they put their hands on this thing and you push against it. And I'm going to say there's definitely enough people there. It starts to move. So you start rolling this thing. The thing is, after you roll it about a couple of feet and it gets a little room there, you start stepping into something that squishes and crunches. You only remove the parts of the bodies that were exposed. And as you continue to roll across this, you have to step across the bodies, which are going to end up with big imprints of your feet as you squish through them, and the townspeople as they push this forward. And
nobody pay that any mind. Don't look down. Keep your eye on the ball.
Oh Lord! All right, so rather than a strength check because you got enough people, let's have a resolve and composure for being able to stomach stepping through these people.
You said strength and resolve from everybody?
Resolve and composure. Sorry.
Oh, resolve and composure.
All right. Yeah, I said you guys have enough strength, I think, tied together. So. All right.
I did not succeed, but I did not fail.
So, well, you got no successes, right?
Yep.
But no ones.
Yep.
Okay, so that's no dramatic failures, which is great.
Yeah.
But I am gonna. Two of you have no issue whatsoever. The townspeople seem to do pretty good. They're like kind of maybe not even realizing what they're stepping through, you know. Lady Amethyst, you're doing okay until you step and your foot slips off and you look down and you see the face of this young soldier. It's flattened a little bit, so it looks a little odd with his flat nose. But the way that he got squished and the way that your foot slipped off of his face, he's got like this grimace, this smile on his face. So it looks like this big-eyed, flat-nosed, big smile is just looking up at you as you kind of step over and push it, and it gives you a moment's pause.
I need to take a moment. And did we cover all the burial holes already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I'm gonna go dig a little hole and bury it.
All right.
So no one else has to endure what I just endured.
All right. So the rest of you, it's going to take a little more effort to roll this thing, but we'll put you on rolling it. No problem, as you're making your way across the field. Oh, good point. Tolerance for biology probably would have helped, Caleb. All right. So you guys are playing rollerball as the marshal, Bonnie, and the two townspeople ride up on the mine. And now let's just see how well this goes. One of the townspeople, you hear a noise, and he falls off his horse. And a second later, you hear the sound of a rifle being fired.
Immediately, I'm going to be trying to find the source of this rifle shot. And I think also I'd like to hop down off of Blue and start seeking some cover.
Yeah, Bonnie is immediately off of her horse, and she reaches back and grabs the other town person and yanks him off of his. Well, Marshall, I think we got somebody shooting at us.
So it does appear. Any idea where that shot just came from?
Well, judging from the position of the hole in that young gentleman's head there, I'd say that way. And she just points generally ahead of you. That way.
Well, I figured that much. Shit. All right, look. And I'm going to turn to the town folks. She just pulled off the horse. And you just stay low and start crawling back that way. We're going to head up this way and try to stir them up so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, Sheriff.
All right, now. You're going to be safe. Just breathe and do what I said, and you'll be fine.
This time, the round comes in, and it hits right in front of Blue's hoof. Ricochets. And...
Come on, Blue, get out of here. And I'm going to swat him with my hat a little bit. Come on,
right.
Get.
And Bonnie will send her horse along, too. Turning. Now, Silk, are you shooting at us now?
Do I hear this?
I would say from where you're at, you hear it, and you heard the rifle shots too.
Okay, and I presume I've had no response from the mines.
Not
that I know
no.
of. Okay.
No.
I'm just gonna yell out. It's not me. And I will, before the marshal sees me, preferably, I will change back to my regular appearance.
Okay. All right.
Maybe a little bit more busty. I don't know what his type is, but I'm trying.
I like the idea of that. You're a little more, yeah. All right.
All right, now. Miss Skills. I don't know how you want to play this out exactly, but what I'm figuring is I'll move up here on the right-hand side. I'll try to draw his attention while you move up along the left. That sound right to you?
I'm going to play this with the idea of not getting shot. That's my first goal. Now,
That's right.
assuming that first shot was a miss, I'm going to think that's probably Jersey. Now, if that first shot was a hit, then it's probably Bull.
All
Now,
right,
in the well, Jersey's a crap shot, and he was probably trying to shoot to warn us. But if it was
he
Bull,
didn't shoot blue.
Bull. I don't see him trying to kill us, unless she already told him that I'm a Pinkerton. In which case, I'd be careful, Sheriff. Or Marshal, pardon me.
I appreciate that. I didn't correct you earlier on account of the fact you were talking about real serious things.
Yeah.
Do you think they would accept some kind of surrender? White flag, maybe?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure why they're shooting at us.
I was gonna say this earlier, but it's even funnier now that I was gonna be like, Sheriff, step away from the Pinkerton lady. Like, I was gonna make it very clear of like who it was.
Thank you, Silk.
Well, one way to find out whether or not he was aiming for us or not, I'm gonna grab for a stick on the ground.
All right.
Put my hat up in the air.
And the hat gets blown off of your hand.
Shit. That was one of my best hats, too.
Damn. Jersey, is that you shooting at us up there? If you are, please aim for us.
You really gotta antagonize him.
I am trying to save your life, Marshal.
You got a funny way of going about it. I understand he's a crap shot, but I don't want him aiming for me either way.
Well, if it's Jersey and he aims for you, he'll miss. If it's Bull and he aims for you, well, you'd be dead anyway. So I'm trying to make it easy on you.
Miss Silk, is there any chance you could get them boys to stop firing? Any chance in the world?
I think maybe asking Miss Skills to move away.
I'm sorry, Miss Silk, but I can't do that. She's on official business. She's with the Pinkertons.
Yeah, that's why they're shooting.
Shit.
Marshal. I'll make my way down by the river. Come back up that way. Just be careful and don't get yourself shot.
I'll do the best I can. You do the same. I suppose I'll at least try to get their attention away from that ways.
Hmm.
And all right, now I sent her away as best I could, but I want to come out from behind these rocks. Any assurance I can get that I won't be shot?
The Marshal's a good man, boys. If it's you, don't shoot him. You should have run when I told you.
I'm gonna raise my hands up from behind the rock.
And Vonnie's going to start to try and sneak off, and she slips as she does. And another shot rings out, and it grazes right in front of her and past you onto the ground in front of her. And she goes, I'm leaving. And she turns and, see you in a few minutes, Marshal.
Yeah. At which point, I'm very slowly going to stand up. Now, look, I'm just a marshal here. I ain't with the Pinkertons. I ain't trying to do nothing but get out of this alive, all right?
All right, Marshal. You drop your guns right there.
Right. Set them down.
Now you just walk on for Mom, you out there, Ma?
Mm-hmm.
You go pick up his guns and you escort him in here.
You know I can't come close to you boys.
Just pick up his guns, Mom.
Miss Silk, I think we ought to do what they say. I don't want anybody making any mistakes. I don't want any accidents here.
I ride over to the Marshal. I grab his guns. Is there one that is, like, just out of curiosity, is there a gun that you have that is concealed, like is hard to see?
On me? Storyteller, I think this is a good moment for you to come in here, because I may indeed, but I'm not saying whether or not I do.
What I'm trying to say is, if Silk sees that you have a concealed weapon, she would probably let you keep one.
Why don't you roll a wits and composure and see?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah,
Marshal?
she doesn't want to. She thinks the Marshal's on her side, so she doesn't want him unarmed in case the lady
Marshal,
comes back.
That would be a wits subterfuge for you.
Yes, sir.
And just, Marshal, you can tell me your number privately.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or maybe you don't have to. Okay. It's obvious that he was attempting to conceal it. But yeah,
Okay.
there's pretty obviously something secreted about his body. So
A knife sticking out of my boot.
Yeah. I'll pat him down, wink, but as I'm doing it, I will better conceal.
You pull the pants leg down over.
Yeah, I like cover the weapon for him. Look up, wink. Grab the stuff that was dropped and hold it. And I will allow Marshall to go like in front of me. I will be behind. I won't be aiming a weapon at him, but I'll just be kind of like carrying.
Right.
Easy now. That's a hair trigger, all right?
What now?
Just don't put your finger inside the round bit of it.
I've never heard that one before.
I'm thinking on a revolver, there's so many round bits.
I realized that after I said it. Look, just stay away from the trigger, whatever you do, all right? Don't pull back that hammer. We don't need to do none of that. I am not going to cause any problems.
Okay, you boys promise not to hurt him. Him and I have a deal.
You
Right,
you
we gotta
done
spend
made
the night.
another deal, Ma?
You know me.
So you're going to escort him back towards the front of the mine?
Yeah, I will be trying to keep distance. I don't want them to like grab me. you know?
Well, at this point, he's obviously a little ways away, hiding somewhere up in the hill.
Okay.
Now, gentlemen, you are taking a marshal hostage. I'm willing to look the other way, but you understand if anything were to happen to me, it'd be a big problem.
You just do that, Marshal. You go ahead and turn around and look the other way.
And I'm there like, go away.
And I'm just going to say you can see him. About 30 yards out, you see his jersey looks up over the side of it. And he just starts hand signaling back to you, too. And he's like,
So, I'm just trying to tell him to go. I don't know what he's trying to tell me. Those kids and their lingo. I point to the marshal, do this. I don't know.
And Jersey just goes, I'm telling you, bull's in the mine.
Hey, Marshal.
Yes, Miss Silk.
How far away did Miss Skills go?
Miss Silk, I don't rightly know. I told her to get clear and make sure she don't get shot.
Great. Cool. Can I see the mine still?
Yeah, I'd say you're right in front of the entrance is where we'll put you at.
Fellers, my arm's getting awful tired now.
Now you just keep them up there where I can see them now.
Well, doesn't have to be this way, you know.
Are you coming up here with them Stinkerton people?
Well, in fairness, I didn't know you was here.
Well, then
we were coming to help.
Help with what?
Oh, I don't know, the big flaming metal ball?
Yeah. There was a lot of fire.
Well, we figured that was just somebody. I just figured it was one of yours, Ma.
Not this time. Just how long till we hear from the other one?
Well, since I ain't been running the pump since you guys came up the hill, I think not very long.
If I might inquire, what exactly is your aim up here? I mean, look, I ain't with them.
I'm aiming at you, Marshal. That's what I'm aiming.
Well, that's not quite what I meant. Now, you fellers are clearly on the run for something, and I don't know what it is. It's none of my business. But unless there's something you're looking for here, I can guarantee you want to be far from here. U.S. government is coming.
Ma? Who's the U.S. government?
I don't know. I think they're bad people.
That's not quite right, dear.
That they're good people.
They just might have some suspicions about what's happening up here on account of the fact that you got a marshal at gunpoint.
Well, nobody made you come up here. Gosh darn it, Marshal.
Boys, I need you to go.
I can't go. Old Bay is in the anime.
I know. When he's out.
I'm not running the pay.
Well, do it.
And you hear some feet run behind you a ways, Marshall. And then you hear the sound of like the old rail car, you know, the manual rail car that the two people would rail. You hear something that sounds like that going in the distance. And then from underneath your feet, you hear the sound of water and air going through these two pipes.
Miss Silk, what is going on here?
I don't know. At this point, I grab one of the marshal's guns and I hold it like I've seen Miss Skills hold hers, and I'm keeping an eye out for her in case she goes for my boys.
All right. And the pump stops. You hear it just suddenly stop.
Jersey?
Sorry, Ma.
What?
And coming out of the woods, you see Jersey. And you see Miss Skills walking behind him, holding, you can tell her hand is in his, something is in his back. You can just see her arm.
Marshall, turn around and pick up one of your weapons now.
All righty. You're not going to let the fella in the mine shoot me?
I'm not.
Marshall,
Turn around.
you turn around, and it takes you a moment to take in what you see. As there is a cowboy in front of you. Longhorn. Wearing nice western vest, but it's a cowboy. He's a bull walking on his hind legs.
One more thing I don't understand this evening. I Miss Silk, I know them your boys, and you want to get them free now. But we need to be real easy about this. Nobody needs to get shot over this now.
I know.
I'm sorry, Mo. She got the drop on me.
It's okay.
All right, now, Silk. I don't think pointing that gun that way is going to do you much good. Now, these Pinkertons, they are, they're somewhat respected. I think the best thing we can do right now is try to negotiate calmly. Because I know, Miss Talent, you don't want to have to shoot nobody, ain't that right?
Now, I may have called you sheriff earlier, but that's no reason to be calling me Talent.
Oh, Skills, I'm sorry.
Now, that little tidbit of information was between you and I, Marshall.
Look. Silk, I'd like to get a little bit closer to you now, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you mind handing me my pistol, please? I promise you I ain't going to let her take you.
Don't you be making promises you cannot keep, Marshal. Now, Silk, I got your boy here.
I hand the marshal the gun. What's this negotiating thing?
Look, I'm going to do what I can to make sure this resolves peacefully and easily. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to not let her take you. At the very least, it ain't going to happen tonight. But I think you probably understand that we're going to have to go in that mine and bring your boy out of there. You realize that, don't you? All right. Now look.
You ain't gonna have to go get him, Marshal. He'll be out in a few minutes. I guarantee with the pump not going, he ain't gonna want to stay down there very long.
Look, I don't know what you were pumping out of there, but other things are coming up out of that mine as a result. What is it you're looking for down there?
Well, we ain't looking for nothing, Marshal. It's already found. And at this point, you hear a very loud boom. And then another one. Boom. Boom. And from deep inside the mine, you hear a noise. To go with the stomping. I think Bull might be a little bit mad, Marshal.
Well, maybe you can dissuade him from that.
I ain't never been much good at dissuading.
I stand in front of the marshal.
The pounding increases, and stepping forth from the mine has to duck down as it reaches the entrance, standing about a little over 6 feet tall, is a diving suit. And it steps forward and stops just in front of you, Marshal. The faceplate is fogged on it, so you can't see inside, but it leans over, looks down at you. There's steam rising off of the shoulders.
All right now, Mr. Bull. How is this going to play out?
Reaches up and starts undoing the bolts on the side of the helmet. When he reaches a certain point, you hear a popping noise as water begins to come flowing out the sides. He turns it, creaks, and he pops it off. And you're confronted by the ornery looking bull you've ever seen. He even has a metal ring through his nose. What are you doing?
I'm trying to keep anybody getting hurt tonight.
And who's that woman behind my brother?
That there is an acquaintance of mine.
Not a friend of his.
Just someone I happen to know. That's right. Now look, I don't know what you're on the run from. I don't know what's happening. But I do know that there is not going to be a peaceful resolution to this. In other words, someone might get injured. Someone might even die unless we keep calm. And I know you can do that. can't you?
He's going to lean over and just steam comes out of his nose. And I'm feeling mighty angry right now, Marshal.
All right, I understand. How can I make that easier?
Well, first off, it's mighty damn hot inside this suit. Somebody stopped my brother from pumping in the cool water. And that wouldn't be so bad, but I really like it when the fresh air comes in. I had to walk all the way up that mine shaft, holding my breath, Marshal.
Now, I understand you're awful upset about that. But I got a big barrel full of water just back there. It's nice and cool, been out in the night air. You could climb yourself right down into that barrel if you wanted.
And he looks down at he's big, bulky guy, and he's like, "You think I'm stupid, don't you?"
No. What I think is that I need to speak to you properly because you're a man who knows what he wants. I know what I want. Sorry.
We're trying to solve this peacefully, Bull.
That's right.
But the lady behind Jersey is a Pinkerton.
And with that, his eyes turn beet red. His left leg starts pawing at the ground, and he goes, "Pinkerton."
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
They have a weapon to his back. She could shoot if you go towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Stay calm.
Jersey, you're supposed to keep people away. I know, Bull. I'm sorry. She got the drop on me, and then the marshal here was just sweet talking, and Ma. You sweet talking, Ma.
No, it ain't like that, fella. I promise you it ain't. I got a miss back in a different town. I hadn't seen her in a while, but it ain't like that.
So you're just trying to use Ma like everybody else?
No. Look, I ain't trying to do nothing with her. I wanted her to get out of here and be safe. That's what she wanted. That's what I want. I want all of us to get out of here safe, don't you?
Ma, what are you doing out of your cage?
I'm fine. I was just getting some fresh air like you wanted.
You've been making babies, ain't you, Ma?
I don't think that's any of your business.
Ma, you promised.
So did the marshal.
You've been making babies with the marshal?
No.
They come out with like little tin heads or something?
No. No babies with the marshal. Look, I tried to warn you guys to run away. You weren't able to hear me. That's why you stopped pumping. It's because I yelled for you two. Now, the best case scenario here is that you two are able to get away from here. And Miss Skills leaves.
Miss Silk, I think we both know that's not going to happen.
Well, then what is? Because it's been far too long since I've had a drink, It's been far too long since I've been with a man, and I'm losing my patience.
Right. And we can get you back to town and take care of at least one of them things. And I'm sure you can find somebody to accommodate the other. But look, what I want is for us to be able to get down off the side of this mine without nobody getting shot. And
Why'd anybody
think-
get shot? Jersey, you ain't been shooting again, have you?
You already shot somebody. Look, now one of our men is dead on account of you fellas. So I have to bring you down into town at the very least. Stand trial for this. That's how we do things.
The people can't see them, Marshal.
Maybe not, but that's the way the law sees it. That's the way I see it. If you do something like this, you have to stand trial. Now, you've been trespassing in the mine. I'm willing to look over that. That's no problem. But you shot somebody dead. This town has already had enough trouble. We can't let this go unanswered. I don't want to have to take you in too, Miss Silk. But if you abet them, I have to.
They were doing it in self-defense, and you know they were.
Self-defense or not, there's a man dead. We were coming up here to put out a fire that started, and they shot him without even asking any questions. Now that needs a trial.
Marshal,
Now look,
Marshal, are we about done for a moment? Because my arm's getting kind of tired here.
I understand. What is it that you are intending?
Well, I think we could all sit down, have a good little drink. Miss Silk and she pulls out a little flask. Miss Silk could have a little nip here, and you could go satisfy our other needs, and then we can all just sit around and talk about this like
Civilized folks.
sane, civilized people. There's no reason to make this weird.
I think that ship sailed a while ago, but I agree. Why don't we all sit down? I already got a fire burning. Might as well enjoy it.
And with that, Bonnie puts her hand up like that, and that's it. She had 2 fingers in Jersey's back.
God damn it.
Good.
Damn it. Knowing that she's unarmed, I just approach and steal the flask off of her and down the whole thing.
All right. And then from the mine, as everything's kind of calmed down a little bit, you hear the scratching noise of many, many feet.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going to put you guys on hold. As you guys roll this ball and you make it to the barn. The thing is, this thing's 25 feet in diameter. It's bigger than the barn doors.
Well, shit. I suppose we could just push it behind the barn and hope they don't look.
I suppose. I wish I had noticed it was bigger before we started pushing.
I can't tell you how many times I've said that in my career.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean by that, Miss Morrow.
Of course you don't, dear.
Oh, my word.
I suppose let's just push it out back and hope nobody notices.
I wonder if you said that before.
I'm sorry?
What?
You're
All
mumbling.
right. Well, yeah, let's try that.
All right. I'm going to stop us here tonight as you try to hide this 25-foot diameter ball behind a barn.
Never mind all the new corpses we've got to do something about.
And you guys are up at the mine. You've met the cowboys now. So you got Silk's boys. And there's something coming out of the mine. So we will pick up here next week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We haven't done this in the last few games because it's kind of been one-shotty here, but I think everybody deserves some XP here. So I'm going to hand out for the last 5 games and tonight. Everybody's going to get a beat for each one of those. So that's 6 beats. There's also going to be a beat for role play because you guys have been awesome all the way out. So 12 beats total. All right, to get us to this point. 5 beats is an experience point, and if you got any questions, we can figure out and help you figure out how you want to spend that XP to beef up your character. Can I say beef up when I got cowboys in the game? I don't know. The stakes are high. So, yeah. All right.
Tam, you're utterly useless.
And you're just horny.
Could you two please stop?
I'm sorry. We didn't mean to saddle you with this, Caleb.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're trying to be equally yoked here and as we go along. And
Come on, guys, just move on.
all right. All right. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. We will be back here next week. Meanwhile, after we sign off, be sure to check out the calendar that'll come up for other games that are come up here on Onyx Path. They got quite a few good ones coming through here. There's a Trinity Continuum Aberrant game on Saturday that is good. I know Vorpal Tells has got a few things going on. There's Thy Kindred Come. Oh, I guess they're on a break right now, but they'll be back. And I know that they're working on some kind of one-shotty type things coming up here. I think starting on the 19th, I think, of next month. They're going to be doing some stuff. So just check the schedule, keep up on it. Squeaks in the Deep is out there on Kickstarter, so be sure to look at that as well. And we will see you next week. Anything anybody needs to say before we sign off? Anybody else got anything else coming up this week too? So yeah, if you would, go ahead, Marshall.
So as always, I want to remind people that your mental health is a very serious thing. It's very easy to lose track of just how bad things are getting sometimes. And it's all right to need help because, at least for me, it was very quick that I found myself in a position where I really did need it. And I felt like I couldn't reach out to people because I didn't want to make what I was going through their burden. But that's not for you to decide. As a matter of fact, when you're going through that, you're affecting the people around you, regardless of whether or not you intend to. So reach out to them, talk to them about what's happening in your life, because I guarantee you they want to hear about what's happening in your life a lot more than they want to hear about something happening to you. And a lot of times we don't see just how much people care about us. So please give them the chance to show that. And if you do find yourself in a position where you can't reach out to your friends or your family, there are numbers available for you. They're 24/7, they're free. And if you can't speak to somebody about it, they have text lines and they have emails that you can send as well. So they can help identify some options that you have available, because there are always options available. So please take care of yourself. Check in on the folks that you know, because you never know how much that one hello in the morning might make a difference for them. So please reach out to them and see how they're doing. And if you find yourself in the position that I find myself in a lot, where I don't know what to say to them, just say something, anything, because just doing that much is making a difference. I guarantee it. So please take care of yourselves. Watch out for your friends and family. And have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you. Please be safe and healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Chops. Anyone else got anything to announce? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We will see you next week.